Hi, and welcome to today's webinar. Thank you for joining us. I'm Karolina Lells from inriver, and together with me I have Christina from Regin and Madeleine from Cypoint. inriver is a product information SaaS company founded in Sweden. Today we have 700 customers across the globe, and we help our customers to turn product information into strategic assets. And today we're here to talk about Regin and Regin's PIM journey, and also product information's role in the customer experience. So, Christina, can you tell me a bit about yourself and about Regin?
Yes, I can. Hi.
Hi.
Regin is a company that focuses on building automation. We develop and produce and also sell devices to help maintain a nice indoor climate. Regin was founded about 75 years ago. It's a Swedish company. And you can find us in Europe and also in Asia. My role at Regin is to be the system administrator of the inriver PIM. And I help different stakeholders with support, workflows, and make sure that the product information is correct in the system.
Great. Looking forward to hear more. Okay, Madeleine, so what will you share with us today?
I hope to share some practical advice around implementing a PIM and also complicating Christina here, because we have done the PIM journey together. So hopefully I have some practical things to do.
I'm sure. So, going back to you, Christina, can you tell us a bit of how you sell your products today?
We sell our products quite traditionally. It's classic sales, B2B, and also different exhibitions where our print catalog is quite central. We also have an e-commerce to help our customers even more with buying our products.
And talking about e-commerce, maybe you can tell us a bit more on how you work with e-commerce today.
I will try my best. We have a site, of course, e-commerce it's open 24/7, but it's not like when you buy things from us, you want a bit more than just buy a thing. You want some support, help choosing the right solution, and to have the best possible products for your project. So that's what we give our customers as well.
So maybe you can tell a bit more also how you work with customers that work on larger projects. When you are a customer, it's not often that you just buy one product. You buy for a whole project. And to make sure that you have all the correct product information, you can save your order in a project. And through that project, you can access all the relevant product information. And you can also reuse that order and adapt it for the next project as well. So that's a great help. Yeah, interesting. And I understand product information is central to support your e-commerce then. So can you tell us a bit about how it works internally? And I mean, how it impacts the customer experience and time to market as well, maybe.
Yeah, of course. A time to market with product information in a modern PIM, there is hardly any time to market. It's an immediate accessibility for the customer. As soon as we add our products and make them available on the web, everything is available also for the client, for the customer. So that's a great gain for the customer to make sure that they have the correct information, the most accurate information.
And internally, I know you mentioned to me before about this one source of truth. And and that's really central. With a PIM, to have all the product information in one system, and use that system as a single source, it makes the information reliable, and also secure. So we can be sure that we present the correct information, and the client can be sure that they have the correct information.
Yep.
And if I can add there, also for the internal sales, that they can be sure that they present the right information to the customer.
Exactly.
Not only maybe in the history of having old PDF documents and so forth. Today they can pick it out from the system at any time, and so they can be sure that they actually present the actual product information.
Yeah.
So you've been working a lot with the processes internally as well. So you've done a real good job there.
Great. Okay, so in the last year, you implemented inriver PIM. We're so excited about that. So, but how did you come up with the decision to initially to replace your old PIM? What was the reasons for that?
Oh, the wonderful reasons. We had a PIM, but it was quite old. It was not flexible, or not flexible enough for us, for our needs. And at the end, it was also unsupported, which can be a quite big risk. If anything happens, the information is gone. And we didn't want that. We have so much product information, and we needed a new system that could meet our needs. Being flexible, being supported, and that could be adapted to our needs.
Yeah, interesting. And how can you, or maybe you could describe a bit more on how inriver PIM supports your process today?
Well, in the system, you can have different roles, and you can also use the system for the workflow. So you can have the system as a part of the process. Different stakeholders have different responsibilities. Everyone knows who does what, and you also have the version history, where you can see what has been done, if there's something gone wrong, and where it went wrong and where to fix it. And also the one that is responsible for each product is the one that signs off before anything is published onto the web. So we have a clear responsibility. We have gained efficiency, and also we know that we have the accurate information.
Sounds great. Can you give an example of a process that is supported by PIM?
Yeah, for example, when we have a new product with several articles, the product owner has the overall responsibility of the information, but it's not the product owner that adds information. But he or she signs off, controls, makes sure it is correct. And also, firstly, signs off the English, the master language. And then also signs off if there are translations, signs off on images, signs off on documents. So there is, a clear responsibility process there until we publish. So it's really good. It's really nice to know who does what.
Yeah, I think that's a really good example. Thanks for sharing. I think you also mentioned catalogs being an important channel for you.
Yes, it is indeed.
Yeah.
as I mentioned before, we are quite. It's a traditional sales environment.
Yeah.
And a printed catalog is needed. We are trying to be more digital, and we are getting there, but we still need a printed catalog. And with the print module that we have implemented now as well, this process of making a catalog will be much easier than before.
Yeah. Was a lot of manual work before, maybe?
It was. We more or less started from scratch each year. And we had to sit down with all of the product owners. It took a lot of time. We put a lot of time into desktop publishing, as well as proofreading rounds and manual updating both catalog and our old PIM. And there are discrepancies, as it is when you have manual work.
Yeah.
Now with the new PIM and the print module and easy catalog, we have a direct connection from the product information directly to the end product, the catalog. So it's also a way of when there are updates in the PIM, it reflects in the catalog, and you can sign off if you want to accept the changes or not.
Yeah. Seems like a great improvement.
It is. We will gain a lot of time, and it will be a lot more efficient.
So you mentioned some requirements then and needs, like for a new PIM. Can you talk a little bit more about additional requirements that you had for a new PIM when you chose?
Well, I mentioned the flexibility. We have a lot of different kind of products. Some of them are quite easy and simple, but we also have larger systems and more advanced products. And we needed a system that could meet both these needs. And we also needed something that could be used as a single source, and that could be connected to our other systems, like our ERP. And inriver met all these needs we had. So that's why we ended up with inriver.
Yeah, we love that. So, I mean, my next question was, why did you choose inriver? You kind of just told us. But anything more to add there that you can think of? I had like the UI I had, for example.
Yeah, it is. That's actually one thing that I enjoy working with inriver. The UI interface is it's not flashy. It's not a lot of colors. It's not that you don't get disturbed by the interface. It's there. It fulfills the needs, and it's user friendly. It's logical. So it's enjoyable to work with it.
Great. And also you have a lot of users working with it.
We do.
So there's no limitations there in terms of...
and that's also very different from our old PIM. We were quite limited in who used it. And now everyone can use it. And that's also the beauty that with the product information, we can put responsibility where it should be and not where it not should be. So, yeah.
Yeah. Great. So Madeleine, I mean, you actually recommended inriver to Regin. So maybe you can share us why you did that.
Yeah.
And then
we actually did a benchmark here towards other systems as well. But in the first edition, it was the complexity of the products. Many B2B companies actually and manufacturers especially do have some complexity in their products. So not every PIM system is formed for that. So inriver has a function called specifications. That was very interesting for you to be able to use. And also the workflow that Christina has talked about. So both those in combine is a very good match for you. So and also the UI, it's a good UI. It's not the sexiest thing, product information. It's not, but it is logical, and you need to have it, like you said, not in a flashy way, because that actually distracts you. So it's quite straightforward. So that's why I think it suits you well.
Yeah.
But the UI, the specifications, and the support for workflow. So it was, in this case, quite easy for us. So, and I think it sounds like she's happy.
So it's not only me. Okay, so then I'm curious, and I think many in the audience here are curious to hear your advice for others that are looking for implementing a PIM.
It will take time. It's something I learned. But advice: make sure you do a proper pre-study, not only externally but also internally. What are the actual needs? Not how you work today. What are the needs? How do you want the product to work in the future? How are the future plans? It's also quite important to have an idea, at least. Involve different parts of the organization. We worked cross-functional all the time. We worked with product development and product owners. We worked with the IT department. We also had our sellers, the sales personnel, a bit involved. So it's not only one part, it's the whole organization has to be involved. Make sure that the system you use or will choose can talk to your other systems. Those are the one things I can think of right now.
I think that's really good.
Yeah.
Really good
in
advice.
terms of the internal, you said that involve the whole organization. Make sure that everyone has their say and also has their buy-in, because I think when you start with the PIM product, you can easily see that the people like you, that have that role, documentation, and are very specific details about the product information, but also in the end it's supported to increase the sales and to increase the customer experience, to increase the sale. So the sales department also have to buy in, even if they won't be the first users, but they will very much benefit from it. So it's a total all over organization.
It's a lot of stakeholders, and that's why we talk about this, all these different touch points. That it's interesting. And Madeleine, you have a vast experience here on how to leverage the power of product information as part of this wider digitalization strategy. So we're curious to hear about your advices as well.
I would like to put in the return of investment discussion in this, because most companies do the PIM to evaluate also the internal process, of course, but they want to scale up their e-commerce. And sometimes the e-commerce decision ends up being so difficult that the decision will not be placed. So I would like to suggest the PIM first approach in this case, because the ROI from the PIM product is always very great, because you have all these internal benefits and the efficiency that you save, all those hours that you save internally gives the ROI for the project immediately. So I think even if you don't know today where your e-commerce is heading, start with the PIM, because that's always the foundation to be able to scale up the e-commerce whenever that happens, and also for the channels as well. No matter what channel you have to have this single point of information where you know that you have your base. So, well, that's, I think people should consider now, because there's a lot of other decisions that might be harder to take, but the PIM first approach you can always be safe with.
Sounds wise. So let's do that. Okay, so we're actually starting to get closer to the end here. So to round off, Christina, what are your main gains of PIM? Like, kind of summarize it a bit.
A single source of product information is one of the gains, that we have. One place for the information. Also that we can work more efficiently. Yeah, thank you. And we can involve more people in the work of the product information. We have, with the ERP connected, we can also be sure of the product life cycle. So we don't have to update in different systems manually. The ERP makes sure that the product is active or discontinued. And we can trust that information, and therefore we can also trust that what we send out to the web is accurate in that sense.
Okay. Is there any other gains that you can think of that or things that we didn't bring up earlier here that you would like to mention?
I'm sure there are, of course, but some things could be repeated as well. I think also the big gains here is the security and the confidence that the product information information is correct, and the big upsale that has. So
and also touched upon it a little bit, but shorter time to market is also something that we discussed.
Of course.
Yeah.
It is.
Is improved. All right. I think then that we kind of sum it up like that. I think it was very insightful. I hope you also think so, that watched it. And thank you so much, Christina, for sharing your experience and learnings.
Thank you for having me.
And also to you, Madeleine, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And if there are anyone in the audience that have questions, then please reach out, send them to us, and we will make sure that everybody that watch this will get all the answers. So please share them with us. And I would like to thank you for tuning in. And again, thank you, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.